All right, good morning. I'm Walber. This is Saturday. Let's work on Pro Gymnast. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit scary, which is let's look at the to-do list. Here it is. So I've got a few bugs. Or things I gotta do, right? I gotta get the translations in the game. I need to... These are all kind of nice to haves, honestly, some of these things down here. But I need to double check the GIF export because I blew up the stream last time. I tried to export a GIF. So maybe that's a bug in the game or a coincidence. We'll find out. But as I'm trying to finish this thing up and release it, one thing I haven't really done, primarily because this game has been focusing on PC and Mac, is that I haven't really looked at performance or memory usage. Now normally, when I've made games on mobile or for other devices that are a little bit more strict, like to get the performance to work or whatever, something I have to do a lot of is like optimization and checking in on memory usage, and don't generate any garbage during a frame because the garbage collector will cause a frame spike, etc. And I haven't really had to worry about this on this game because it's on PC, and the PC is much more forgiving. And to be fair, I'm on fairly nice computers, so I haven't really observed much in the way of performance challenges while making the game. But before I ship it, I feel like, I should go and do a pass on looking at the performance of the game, maybe take a pass at optimizing some of the worst offending areas, and double check memory, and just kind of like maybe clean up the places that are the most egregious. So the way we're going to do that is, let's see. We are gonna start. Let's look at, let's just do a profile, right? So let's go to the menu scene. Okay, and we're gonna not maximize. Go to Window, Analysis, Profiler. We'll just I better do it like this so the stream can see it as well. Okay, so we'll set it up kind of like this. There we go. Let's run. Let's see how things are looking in the menus first off. Okay. There's a fair amount of overhead here, so I'm not going to worry too much about the frame rate. But I'm going to look more at just kind of like what, if there's anything sticks out as being expensive, so to speak. So, for example, what does it look like when we're in the avatar editor? Okay. What we can do here is we can just pause and take a look and see how we're doing here. Yeah, see, so the frame rate being shown here is not particularly representative, because actually, it's got this 13 milliseconds of the editor doing something. It's not particularly important to us. So, but we can go in here and look and see, like, okay, we're doing anything dumb. Okay, input manager. And I could probably take a look at optimizing that a little bit. Canvas stuff. This is all canvas stuff, basically. So that's to be expected. This is a fairly complex UI screen. Right? Then we got Cinemachine. Yeah, we got some canvas layout stuff. On the way, I believe these pink ones mean allocations. Oh no, they're not necessarily. Some of them are. Get null error wrapper, so that's editor only stuff. Okay. So, doesn't look too bad. You can see here though that we are, if you look down here on this memory strip, we are, if you look at the total GC allocated, like let's take away this other stuff. You can see that we're slowly allocating, and then it's cleaning up on a loop there. And so, looks like, yeah, we're allocating 57K like per frame, which is a lot. I may want to look into that, but we're in the menus right now. These are going to be much lower priority to me than the game. So let's go get into the game. Okay, so, no. Go back. Oops. Go back. Let's pick one of these. Okay, now let's go into sort of a representative level, maybe one that has a handful of props, this kind of good size. Like, yeah, this is a pretty good one. Let's see how this is looking. Obviously we're going to see a spike here when we come into the level. Okay. Now here's like steady state playing the level. Okay, and now you see an orange bar up here. That's physics. That makes sense. This is a physics game. I should be pushing the physics system pretty hard. Okay, so now let's pause and look at this. What do we got here? We have 1, 2, 3 physics updates happening per frame, which makes sense because I've cranked I've set the physics time step to be a very narrow amount of time. So that's absolutely expected. But let's look in here and say like, okay, so, but if I look at this, look, fixed update, right? The orange is the actual physics system updating. And the rest of this is my scripts per fixed update. So a lot of the time is here out here in my scripts, which means I should be able to clean this up. Now I bet this bluish one is going to be, oh, it's animators, because I'm manually updating an animator in fixed update. That's interesting. I bet I don't need to be doing, well, maybe I do need to be doing that, but okay. So that's that. What's all this? You got the input manager, you got landing mats. What are landing mats doing? Sync collider transforms a whole bunch. That we could probably try and fix. That seems unnecessary. Look at all that. Okay, so that's cool. That's probably because we're regenerating the mesh. Let me think about that. Yeah. Okay. What's this? Constrained 2D body fix update is also causing physics sync rigid body transform. Okay. And the Gymnast is doing an overlap sphere. That's slightly pricey. But Gymnast controller fixed update's taking a fair amount of time. And auto grabber. Ooh, auto grabber, okay. Gymnast joints, okay. Why do we have 2? Are there 2? I gotta double check that. And then we have the avatar, okay. Then we have the replay manager, which is a little bit pricey. And that happens every other fixed update, right? So we're only paying for that once this frame. Like, there it captured a frame, and then it skipped this one. That makes sense. Ooh, look at this. Game cursor.update. Why is that even running when you're in the game? You know? And we're calling find objects of type every frame. Ew! See, look at this. We got some stuff we can clean up. Okay. And then late update. What do we got here? Rope. Rope.late update. Doing a lot of physics overlap spheres, huh? Okay. Okay. Then we have the avatar late update. Okay. Alright. So, then this is rendering. Rendering looks relatively cheap. Okay, so what are our big culprits here? let's write down what we need to work on. First one, early update canvas stuff. Now, inside fixed update, what do we got here? Oh, okay, so we should do rewired const. Consts, I'm going to do that. What is this here? Gymnast center of mass, okay. Gymnast com is allocating. Okay. What's this? Camera positioner. Yeah. Probably speed some of this stuff up if we need to come back later. Look at it. Manager game fixed update is very minor. But landing mat. Landing mat. Fixed update. It's doing lots of sync transforms. Okay. So does this. What's this? Oh yeah, same thing with constrained body fixed update. Okay. Then the Gymnast.fix update, we are doing overlap sphere. That's probably fine. Gymnast controller is a fairly big portion. Okay. And then we got two auto grabbers. First of all, we have to auto grabber is always on, question mark, and why two of them? Okay. Then what's this? This is going to be more, oh, this is body part.fixed update. It's also doing this. Okay. All right. And then, yeah, and then do we need avatar update in fixed update? I think the reason is, so my replay system it captures the state of the transforms and different things in the game, and it captures them in fixed update, and right now it captures every other fixed update. And I believe the reason I am updating the Gymnast avatar, which is not the physics, right, it's just the visual avatar, I believe the reason I'm posing that thing in fixed update is so that when the replay manager captures a frame, all those transforms are actually posed correctly. Which means at the very least I could only do that on the frames where I'm going to capture a frame. I mean, that would make things even more spiky though, where it's like one frame is cheap because there's no capture and there's no animator, and then one frame is expensive because there's the animator and the capture. So maybe I should just pay for this all the time to keep things more even, but something to think about. And here's the actual physics, and then we should just see essentially a copy of all this again, right? And then we should see a copy of it all again. And then we have update. Oh yeah, game cursor.update. Game cursor turn off during gameplay. Cool. That'll be a nice chunk of savings. That'll be a millisecond right there. Look at that. Look at that disgusting bar we can get rid of. What's all this? Input manager, okay. Controller model, manager game, yeah. What is this? Programmatic signal source, okay. Belt UVs, yeah. There's our sky. Game UI, yeah, I understand that we're doing that. Although that's allocating, we could probably fix that. Let's see. Okay. 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 Let's see what else we got. Expression player. There's our game cursor, our disgusting game cursor. What's this? Whoa, lots of little scripts. What are these? Replayable basic kinematic update. Right. And it's just there's a lot of them, but okay. Yeah. Okay. Wonder if those could disable themselves when they're not doing anything. That might be a good idea. Okay. Alright, where was I? Okay. Yeah. Oh, no, it doesn't matter if I disable them, because it's the fact that they have an update function. I could double check that. Actually. Yeah, we can look at this. Okay. And then what do we got happening in late update? Okay, so rope.late update is a little pricey. I know why that is. Might not be super avoidable. We'll take a look. Then we have visual wire. Yeah, visual wire. Okay. Late update. Okay, and then we have the Gymnast avatar, which, yeah, makes sense, and that's pretty much it. Okay. Alright, so that's our list. Okay. So, one thing I learned about recently is I'm using Rewired, which is like a plugin for input, and it's really cool. It makes it so the game will support tons of different joysticks and layouts and stuff, and overall I like that about it. And it turns out there's a way, I don't know if maybe this is a waste of time, but I should do it anyway. So if you go to tools here, you can do this export constants things, and this is pretty cool. So we just want the actions. Like this. Yeah. Or we may want, is it map categories? Yeah, we may want map categories as well. Okay, we don't need custom controllers. We don't need rule sets. Okay. Then you hit export and you get to create a file here. So we're gonna say in Gymnast 2 data, not data, Gymnast 2 scripts input. We're gonna have a rewired consts file. So what this does is it takes, so when rewired, you can essentially, you define all these things called actions like this here. And then you map those actions through maps to different inputs. So I have a keyboard one, I have a joystick one, etc. And there's a handful of different ways in code you can get input. Like, so for example, if we go to Gymnast controller, and we go down here. See, I had already kind of done this, like where basically what you can use the name to get the value, or you can just pass an integer in, and the integer version is way faster because it doesn't have to do any string comparison to go find where's the action with that particular string name. But I can simplify this now, because what I've been doing in a lot of scripts is this, where I stored a million integers to figure out the ID of the different actions. And then in start or somewhere, I would get all those, which is not necessary anymore, because what I can do instead now is down here where I would normally say like get me the leg X, I can now do rewired consts dot actions dot leg horizontal, or whatever it was. Yeah, leg horizontal, and then this will be wired consts actions legs vertical. And then there's no lookup or anything, it's just coming from, if I go look at this, it created this file here, where it knows what integer all this stuff is. Sort of like at compile time. So we want arms horizontal. Arms vertical. This, now because I was doing the thing where I looked up the integers in like start, this isn't going to really save us any time performance-wise. But I like it. It's cleaner, and this will give me a chance to go through where I'm doing input stuff and just make sure I wasn't using pull arms, where I wasn't using string versions anymore. Pull arms. Okay. Pull legs. There we go. Okay. Input action. So this is rewired const.action. Action. I have an action called action. Hard grip. Tight grip. There it is. Okay, reset. Menu. Focus. Okay. Twist. Okay, looks like there's another one down here. Pull legs is down here again. Okay. Okay. Now, later I should go through anywhere else we're doing this, but this is the main input script in the game. Okay. So we'll keep working on that a little bit as we go through. But now let's look at some of these other notes. Okay. So, gymnast center of mass. This one's allocating. So it's actually this function that it's allocating. Gymnast get center of mass. So let's go into this and look. Okay, and it's allocating because we're making this array. Every frame, which is stupid. This is, well, maybe not. That's a constant array. Is that really going to allocate every frame? I guess so. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab that, and we're going to make that a... I wonder if I could make it a static, or not static, but yeah, read only or something. Let's see. So I got this thing. It should be a private. Can it be const? I don't know. Can I do this and make it a const array? Oh, private const. What about that? Let me look up how to do this. How do we do this? Public static read only. Okay, so what if we do that? If we say static read only. Hey, that might be better. Okay, so because this is just a little list saying we need to look, we're going to use the torso, the pelvis, the head, and the femur as the body parts we care about when we look up the center of mass. So we're going to make this into a little list like this, and then we're going to go down here to our offending function and say loop through that list. And then do this. Whoops. And then do this and this. Okay. Now this is gross. Part.getComponent rigid body. We should not be calling that every frame. Let's go to gymnast body part. Does it not? It already has a reference to its rigid body, which it is caching. Okay, do we have a way to get it? We do. This is a little, yeah, maybe we should call this, can I use the C# junk to do this? Rename symbol, physics body. In theory, it just went and replaced that everywhere. We'll see. So this here should not be doing this, it should be doing this. This is what happens, see, is like I probably wrote this code before what? Isn't that in the gymnast up here? Oh, I put this in the wrong spot. Not there. Come down a little farther. Here. Here. Right here. Right here. There we go. Okay. So I probably wrote this code like early in the game. This get center of mass. Before body parts had cached their rigid bodies, and so I was just like actually having to call get component here, which is gross. And this is also bad too, calling .transform tons. I wonder if we can cache that as well. Okay, so whenever we get the rigid body, which will be on awake here, we can also say this is our transform, and then here we could be like public transform cached transform. Now this is going to be hard to track down all the spots in the code where I am doing this the bad way. But for example here, we would want to do this. Okay. Alright. So that should fix the memory allocation from that. Now let's go look at landing mat. Landing mat was kind of gross. So what was landing mat doing in fixed update? There's late update. Here's fixed update. All we're doing is right. We are constraining the rigid bodies to be in 2D by setting their position directly. Okay. Okay. So, and we're also doing that in my fake 2D thing or whatever it's called. Yeah. Okay, constrained body. Okay, so let's go look at something. So if we go here to And I feel like this is a little scary because it might introduce some issues, but it's a checkbox I could just uncheck later if it really breaks everything. If I go to preferences, not preferences, if I go to, wait, yeah, if I go to project settings, okay, we go look at physics. We have auto sync transforms turned on. Which is causing this, you know, like, if you move a rigid body, it's like, oh my god, I have to keep the rigid bodies and stuff in sync. And if I uncheck this, then I have to manually synchronize them at some point. Which in my case, let me think about that. Does this give us a little tool tip or anything? No. Okay. Whether or not to automatically sync transform changes with the physics system wherever a transform component changes. When a transform component changes, any rigid body or collider on that transform may need to be repositioned, rotated, or scaled. You can control if the changes made to the transform are automatically applied. That's true. It's set to false. Synchronization only occurs prior to the physics simulation step. You can also manually sync them with physics sync transforms. When set to true, repeatedly changing a transform and then performing a physics query can cause performance loss. To avoid affecting performance, set to false. You want to perform multiple transform changes and queries in succession. Okay. Alright, let's try turning this off and see how much the game explodes. Likely, if this is going to cause a problem, it's going to show up in the form of what? In the form of the avatar having some like jittering or posing problems all of a sudden, or the replay's looking weird. Alright, that was a fairly big checkbox. So let's run the game. Do a little test. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to... This was our little test level we were using. Okay. Nothing wildly obviously broken right away, so that's good. Let's look in slow-mo. It's okay, right? I think. Okay. Let's go to the replay and have a look. Okay, nothing too obvious here. Okay, now we don't know for sure if that produced any actual optimization or not, but it does seem to be the game has survived it, probably because like 99% of my game is taking place in a fixed update, so things are being synced at the fixed update step anyway. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe that reduced the number of sync transforms in fixed update, because that was clearly what was making this, you know, fairly innocuous function expensive. And it was the other same reason that yeah, body part and constrained body were all going to have that same issue. We'll have to look at those now. Okay, now controller. This is just kind of expensive. Now it makes sense. This is a pretty beefy function. Look at this. It's not really a function, right? I guess it's a method, right? I mean, this is the majority of the input of the game. So it makes sense that it costs. Some of this stuff we should get rid of. Debug.log is actually kind of expensive. But we'll have to look into this and see, like, is there a specific section of this that's really slow? Or is it just that we're doing a lot of work? Now look at this. So right. So the Gymnast auto grabber, looks like there is more than one. Why do we have more than one? I forget why we had that. Apparently there's two of them. Yeah. Yeah, we're choosing between two different ones, it looks like. Right. Yeah, we're saying, hey, this grabber says that the arm, that the shoulder and the elbow should be at the following angles. Which one changes them the least? Pick that one. Okay, but this whole thing is based on whether or not grab assist is enabled. Alright, well, we can go look at that. So I wonder if I should, let's try this. This is kind of fun. I've been learning to do this a little more. So we can do this. We can go profiler. Or what is it? Is it profiling? Profiling. Oh, I guess I need a Unity engine dot profiling dot start sample or begin. Begin sample, and you give it a name. So this would be, we'll just say like A. Okay, and then you go down here somewhere else and you say the same thing and you say end sample. And then we'll start one here called B. And it's gonna be this big. Okay, well this is most of it. Maybe we don't want to do that. Let's see. We'll go like this. Alright, let's give these proper names. So this is just this is going to be nothing when I look up that, I'm pretty sure, but we'll double check. And we can go here and say twisting, okay, which is rare. So okay, now let's look into here. So what are we doing here? We are the base posing is we get the stick values, we calculate the angles, or let's do this, base angles. So that's up till here. Okay, then we start another one, which is joint mapping, which loops through the joints and calculates the mapping. Okay. And then we have another section here, which is pull. So pull the arms. Oh, pull plus auto grab. Or let's say it's arm. This section is arms. Okay, and we're going to include this, and we're going to include this. So that goes to there. Okay, then we're going to have one called legs, which is this to here. Okay. then we'll throw one in here for override. Okay. And then the last bit is input. So let's do this. Input. And then that's going to go all the way to here. Now let's go to here. Let's be, you know, proper with this. And then the last bit is focus. Okay. All right. So now what we should be able to do, go back here, let that compile. And then now if we run the game with the profiler, we can see those samples I created in set function to see if there's a particular one that's expensive or what. So let's go back here to window, analysis profiler. Let's run the game. Okay, oh, we don't want to maximize. There we go. Oh, focus back on the game. Okay. Now, where was that level? Was that in this section? Yep, here it is. Okay. Alright, here we are. It's running. Got tons of editor overhead. But whatever, and then let's click in here and have a look. Okay, so random frame. What were we working on? We were looking in Gymnast controller fixed update. So let's go look in a fixed update. And yeah, look at this. So here's Gymnast controller.fixed update. Here is twist start, does nothing. Here's base angles, does almost nothing. Joint mapping does almost nothing. And then arms is like huge. And then, oh, look at this, yeah. And then legs is cheap, override is cheap, input is cheap, and focus is kind of expensive. Interesting. Okay, so now we go look at this and we say, all right, well, what's the deal with this arms section? It starts here. Okay, we don't do a ton in here. We call get axis, which should be pretty cheap. Maybe it's this, get target angle. I doubt it though, because if you look in here, well, maybe, because look here, the joint mapping, this was really inexpensive, right? And this was essentially calling a curve, looking up some stuff, and then calling set target angle, but then also calling get target angle. So get target angle probably isn't expensive. Then in here, what do? We get player input, we get the target angle, we do some math, we loop through our auto grabber scripts, and we get two variables from them. Like this shouldn't be expensive. We can have a look. Let's see, look, we're almost at the end of it here. And then we just call set target angle. So what the heck in here? Let's go look at a couple more frames. Like let's grab another rando frame. Okay, here we go. So we're in fixed update. Yeah, look at that, same thing. Arms is expensive, and focus is expensive. Okay, and what about one of these spiky frames? You notice the spikes are coming from other, which usually I don't need to worry about too much then, because that is editor overhead usually. I don't know if we zoom out a little bit here, can we actually see the difference between a normal frame? Yeah, see, it's like editor loop just leaps up, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. Okay, but it looked like in most cases here that Gymnast controller fixed update. Arms is always the expensive part. Look at that. Okay, so now let's try. We're going to turn on deep profile. And we're going to run again and figure out what the heck is going on there. Now this is likely to run at a pretty crappy frame rate because deep profile is like writing down every little call happening in the call stack, which is pretty extreme. Go to our same level, so we keep things as constant as we can. Okay, so here we are, whatever, it's running really slow, don't worry about it too much. Yeah, okay, so now let's go look at a frame. And now look at this, look how deep this goes now. See, you can really see what the heck's going on. So we go into fixed update, we go into, what is it? Gymnast controller fixed update. Look at this. Holy crap, look at that. Here's the problem. Player prefs. Every frame, we're asking if grab assist is turned on or off right now. And the way that I've set that up is it's actually asking player prefs every frame. Like, hey, is this an integer set? And that's costly. Look at that. So it's not the stuff I was doing. So that's good to know. And this freaking same problem. Look at this. Focus. The problem is we're calling player prefs get int multiple times. So now we have a target for our optimization. Okay, so that's good. So now we can go here, we can get rid of these samples we added. Okay, because it turns out my expensive input function was almost entirely expensive due to calling playerprefs.get a whole bunch. Classic blunder. Look, this is super old code. I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, boop, boop, boop. Here's the next one. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. This is the nice example of profiling where you find like a clear, easy culprit, which is nice. Sometimes it doesn't go that simple. I'm sure we'll have a few other cases later today where it's not that simple. Let's go see if do I have no, in this file, do I have begin sample anywhere? No, and do I have end sample anywhere? I had one I missed, see? Okay. And let's go to, what was it? Was it game settings? Okay. We have all these settings here. And the way I've built this right now is that I'm not actually remembering the settings. See? When you call get on the control setting, I ask player prefs for it, and then I return it. And then when you set it, I just set it into player prefs. So we need to cache these values for sure. So what we got to do here is we got to go private control setting. We'll call this control setting, right? And it equals s settings control setting controls default. Should be able to do that. Okay, then same thing here for the game speed. Private game speed. Yeah. game speed equals s game speed default. Okay, focus factor, private focus factor equals s focus factor default. Okay, grab assist, private grab assist. Okay. Now one thing we're going to have to do is now we're going to have to make sure we write some code to be smart enough to know if we've read the value or not from player prefs. We just have to do that once on load. Okay. Private bool. Some of these, like, we're probably not checking every frame, so they're not as important, but we should do it all while we're here, right? Okay. Private bool. Okay. Private float music vol. And we have the sound effects volume. Circus cues volume. And the language. Okay. So then what do we need here? Now this, oh, see, one of the problems is this is a, oh, is this a mono behavior? Really? I'm not using it like a mono behavior anywhere, am I? They're all static functions. Yeah. Okay, so what we gotta do is, we don't actually even, see if I get rid of this, this should still compile, right? Because we're not actually attaching it to a game object anywhere. So I think, so now the question becomes, okay, we don't want to ask player prefs every time. You know, we could do something dumb. Like, we could have, like, here'd be one way to do this. We could be like private bool initialized, which, you know, when they start the program is going to be set to false. When the whole game runs for the first time, it's going to be set to false. Or, not the first time ever, but, you know, every time the game is run, it will start with false. And then every one of these we could say, like, if not initialized, you know, init or whatever, and then init would go find the values for all these. But then I got to protect that in every get, because it's like whoever calls first, wherever in the code somebody talks to one of these first, I got to find it, right? That could work, but I believe there's a thing you can do. Let's look it up. So what is the thing? It's called like Unity application start call method or whatever. Yeah. Here we go. Runtime initialize onload method. Let's go look this thing up. Okay. Determine whether methods are called before or after the scene is loaded. Okay, so you can do yeah, do we want this to happen before the first scene is ever loaded or after the first scene is loaded? Okay, cool. So what we can do here is we can go static void initialize, right? And then we put this little decorator thing on here like that. And we will say, ooh, look at all these things. After assembly's loaded, after scene loaded, before splash screen, subsystem. So we want before scene load, I believe. And then here we can say get the values for all the properties. Okay. So now I gotta go refactor all this stuff. Alright, so this is gonna take me a second. I need to use the restroom, so I will be right back. Okay, so what we need to do essentially now is we need to go to each one of these, grab this, and set it to what we have here. So this is the controls, and this is going to be like this, like that, and then here we're just going to be returning like that. Now this is going to be mad at me because I didn't mark these all as static as I was going through here. Something like this. Can this be, or can I make it read only? Is that the right way to mark it? Yeah, that's the right way to do that. Okay. This will help me make sure I'm not accidentally assigning to the wrong thing here, because I have a lot of similarly named variables here in this kind of not the best class I've written, you know. But it's gonna do the job. Especially now that we're gonna make it not talk to player prefs all the time. Okay. Oh wait. These should also be. Okay. The focus factor, you got all that, you got that, that's good. This thing is read only. And then so is this, because this is the default. And then here's the actual live value. There you go. Okay. And this is like this, and then this guy is like that. And this is read only, static. Okay. Read only. Static. Okay. Dude. Read only. Read only. Static. Okay. Got a bunch of these. Probably could have like made this into like a data type or something, whatever. Okay, so control setting is good. Now control setting is cheap. Now when you set it, for now when you set things, I'm gonna leave it expensive. And we're gonna say control setting equals value, and then you set this like that. Okay, so then game speed needs to be up here now. Equals like that. Yep. And so then when you want to get the game speed, you're just gonna be returned the game speed, you know? Like there it is for you. And then here we set game speed equals value. And then we set this to be an integer of, oh my god, an integer of game speed. Boom. Okay. Okay, this one is doing a lookup, so that's fine. Focus factor. Boom. Now we go focus factor equals that. Not focal factor, focus factor. There we go. So now this can just return the live value. If you set it, we update the live value. And then we set this to an integer of the live value. There we go. And timescale involves just doing a lookup, so that's fine. Okay, grab assist. Boom. Up here. Boom. So this is grab assist equals grab assist, I think like that. Yep. Okay, so now when you want the grab assist, we just give you the live value. When we set it, we set the live value to what you asked us to set it to, and then we set this as an integer of grab assist. Okay, camera distance. So here we're just going to return the live value. We're going to set the live value here, and this gets set to the live value. Now we got to go up here. We got to remember that. Like this. Like this. Okay. Be a few more of these. Motion blur. This is just going to return motion blur. When we set it, we set motion blur equals value. And then we set this to be based on the live value, and blah blah blah. Okay, so let's go up here, save that before we forget. Motion blur equals this. Cool. Depth of field, you're next. Here you are. So really what we need is this part, okay? So then we're just gonna return the DOF. And then here we're gonna set the DOF to the value you pass in, and then this needs to come from here. It doesn't really matter, but do it right. Okay. Save that. Here, the DOF equals that. Okay. We're gonna have to test this fairly thoroughly. Make sure I didn't bust anything. Graphics quality. Oh, okay. This one is stored on its own, so we'll probably leave that alone. Music volume. I doubt we're asking for this every frame, but you know, whatever. So we want to grab this part, get rid of it. And we're going to return music vol. Then here we would set music vol to what you say, for whoever called this, and then set this to music vol. Okay. Let's do all three of these while we're at it. So this is just going to be return SFX vol, and then SFX vol is going to be set to the value there, and then we'll do this based on SFX vol. And then this, return circus vol. Boom, not minus value, equals value. Okay. Okay, now let's go up to the top and initialize all these. So music is this. Okay, then SFX and circus. So this will be S setting SFX volume, and this is going to be S setting circus cues volume, and this is going to be SFX volume default. This is going to be S circus cues default. Okay, so that should be loading all those correctly. And then we just have language. So what is language is asking player pref, so we don't really want to do that. Yeah. We're going to do all this on init, right? Yeah. So all that is going to happen somewhere else, and here we're just going to return the length. Oh, and we don't want that as a string. We want it as locmanager.language. Okay. Right. So this should be .language, and it's going to default to English. Okay. Go ahead and grab this. Okay, so what do we do here? We grab the player preference. We try to turn that into a language. Right. We're saving it as a string though. Okay, I see. Right. we'll figure that out in a second. And then we go here. We work out which one we got, blah, 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 blah. And then we finally know down here that I guess all this actually should just be underscore lang. So we would just go like this. We're trying to set our local language here. And then we try again. And then we set it like that. So we don't need this line anymore. Okay. But now the question is, what do I do down here? What's this? What's this redness? Oh, I think it's okay now. What do I do down here? I see. We go like this. And we say lang equals loc manager get language code. No, not lang, sorry. String lang string equals get language code, and then we set that like that. Like that. And we set lang equals value. Okay. Alright, I think we made it through this culprit of a class. Now hopefully, let's go see if this is going to compile. Nope. Okay. What do we got here? Extra parentheses. Looks like another one too, or is that it? That might be it. Okay. All right. Let's test it. So in theory here, if I run the game, I mean, I guess we could use a breakpoint, but this should be pretty easy to determine if it's working or not. So we go here. We're going to set the game to slow, a lot, off, dual stick, done. And then we're going to go here. We're going to set these all the way down. Now we're going to set this to off, low. Okay, done. Now if we stop, and we run again, do we see those values? So here, okay, that's cool. Oh, that went back to medium, so that's interesting. That may be an editor thing though. I gotta check that in a build. Yeah. I probably need to be saving that. Let's see. Let's make another note somewhere. Okay. Okay, so need to save quality setting ? Question mark, and then also, can we save res plus full screen settings? Okay, so we'll look at that. What are we doing here? What else? Okay, so then did the game settings just keep? Looks like they did. So let's set these all to the opposite. And we'll turn this up, turn this up, turn this up, turn this on, turn this on, done. Go to the language, set it to Japanese, leave. All right, come back in. Okay, language was remembered, so that's good. Game settings. Okay, the body control wasn't set. Control scheme didn't stick, did it? I don't even know if I'm saving this somewhere. I think I might be. And these all worked. Okay, so for the most part it worked. Let's go look at... yeah, we have one for control setting, right? Yeah. Default is dual stick. Blah, blah, blah. S settings controls, which is this thing. Okay, where are all the places we read this? No. Let's go down here and look at this one. That looks right. In the menu. Yeah, game settings dot control setting. Oh, why are we doing this right here? Seems wrong. Oh, okay, never mind. I see what we're doing here. Let's have a look at this. Something's a little weird. Oh, whoops, hang on. At a breakpoint, but I didn't actually attach to the editor. There we go. Okay. Okay, game settings. What? We not attached properly? Settings menu dot show. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah. We're just not... Why am I not seeing these breakpoints happen? Yeah, we could try, while we're at it, tossing one into here. See if we hit that. We do. Okay, that's cool. What is control setting set to right now? Single stick. Okay. Okay. Game settings. What? What? How are we not seeing that in settings menu? Maybe this dot show is not happening. That seems weird. That seems weird. Okay. We know that breakpoints were working. This is an old script I'm looking at? Really? Oh, let's look at that. So if we say settings menu. No, not in the console, in the project. Settings menu. Okay, let's try something crazy. Let's delete this. Does the game complain? Or is that thing... No compiler errors. Settings gameplay is fine. Settings sounds and visuals is fine. Settings control mapping is fine. Settings language is fine. I think that was an old menu and I was adjusting. Let's look at this one. This is the actual one. Okay. Full or simplified. On show, we go here and we say it's here. Okay, that was part of the problem. So now let's try this again. Had an old script laying around. Tricky. Settings, here we go. So when we come into here, we think the control setting is dual stick. What? I thought this was... let's also do this. Okay, so someone is setting it right now. That makes sense. Go back here. Okay, it's getting set to dual stick by the code somehow. Let's go back in here. Let's go to settings. We're gonna hit our breakpoint here. We're gonna let that happen. Yeah, we were getting it and then it's being set. Which is, it's set to dual stick now, that makes sense. So now we go like this and we say single stick. Okay, then we get in here and we say, yeah, we're setting it to single stick. Okay, so it's set to single stick. Leave. Come out. Now let's look at the sequence of events here. So we run the game. Looking good. We go to game settings. It says dual stick. What the? What? I mean, we're coming into here, aren't we? What the heck? Okay, what are we hitting here? Right, the loading. Dual stick right now because it got saved that way somehow. We go back into here. We see the dot show is happening. Blah blah blah. It's already borked, so we just leave that alone. Now we set it to single stick. That happens. That happens. We say done. We leave. Now we gotta stop, reattach. Okay, run it. This bug has probably been in the game for ages. Okay, so we hit this thing. We think the settings are single stick. Okay, that's good. Now you go to game settings, and what happens? Here we are in show. So we step along here. We add some junk. Okay. What does it say here? Single stick. So we come out of here. At this point, control is single stick. And then we try to figure out what the other enum should be. Yeah, we get into here and we say simplified. Then we go into here. And we're saying we want to be simplified. So we temporarily set this variable to that. Then we make it into here and we say single stick. Right? So then we hit this. We come into here and we're setting it as single stick all day long. We come out of here. Okay. Pop out of there. Come on down here. Oh, maybe the problem is just that we're not setting the drop down. We're just not setting the drop down. Because set controls, which we were just in a second ago, doesn't actually change the drop down. Right. Okay, I think that was it. So really here we need to be like drop down controls. full versus simplified. Okay. Okay, I think that was it. We just weren't, the dropdown wasn't reflecting the truth. Let's see if that's the case. Okay. Go to settings, there we go, single stick. Now we set it back to dual stick, leave, turn the game off, turn the game on. Okay, so I think my save and load junk is working. Now the question would be, did we actually reduce the cost of the function? Now we still have deep profile turned on. That's probably why everything's running so unbelievably sluggish at the moment. Hopefully. Yeah, wow. Okay, so here we go. Now we're in a normal physics frame. Okay, let's go look at one of these. And let's go into fixed update. And let's find where is what is this? Landing mat. Okay, landing mat I think got cheaper. Yeah, we probably could speed this up though. We're doing all this get Euler angles junk, but whatever. Yeah, where did our Gymnast controller go? Probably back here. Manage your game, camera positioner, chase transform. There's our center of mass. Gymnast, here it is. Gymnast controller fixed update is now. Does not have those big gaps where it was looking at player prefs. And also in theory, that means that down here somewhere, where was it? Replay manager's a little costly. Oh no, it was the update focus section of that. Okay, so that's good. Now, what's the expensive part here? I forget. I think a lot of this was... Oh, confetti's kind of expensive. Yeah, confetti is kind of costly. Quite a bit, actually. A lot of this is confetti, dang. A lot of this is confetti. Interesting. Yeah, there's a single record object here that's costing 4 milliseconds of our entire replay manager, which is probably, this looks like it's the confetti system. Interesting. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, so we gotta figure out if we can speed that up. Because we have this big, expensive chunk of confetti here. This whole thing, right? 4.23 milliseconds of it. And then here's everyone else. Okay. That's good to know. And these are, yeah, the basic kinematics. Okay. All right. That was a good move, though. We got the player prefs cost down quite a bit. And I think we sped up some of these other things by removing sync transforms. We got rid of this. Okay. We have 2 auto grabbers, but I'm not worried about them right now. Oh, game cursor. We need to turn that off during gameplay. Okay, we'll go look at this replay stuff in a second. So game cursor. So manager game feels like the place where we could probably work out if we are in gameplay or not, and if we should be showing the game cursor. Or actually, what if we do this? The Gymnast controller, it likes to do things in here, right? Where it checks if it is the input owner. Yeah. But we could do well, maybe we could look at where does that actually happen. Yeah, that's probably where we should do this. Oh, we played the entire playlist. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Right here is where we set the Gymnast to be the input owner. Let's see. We have a reference to the cursor in here? We don't currently, but we could add one. Yeah, I guess this is how we're gonna have to do this. So it would be like public game cursor ref equals null. Okay. Because game cursor. Oh, there's a game cursor.current. Could just use that. I guess we can just use that. Is invisible. No one is using this? Interesting. We're not using this is invisible anywhere. We could say if you set the cursor invisible, we disable it, which means we're not going to call update anymore, which was our expensive function we don't want to have happen while you are doing stuff. In other words, while you're playing the game. And then okay, so then what we could do is we could go here and we could say when we show menus, game cursor dot current dot is invisible should be false. We want to be able to see it. Same thing here. Same thing here. Here, we put it back to invisible. Here, we put it back to invisible. Replay. Okay. When you retry here, we want it to be invisible. Level complete retry. Okay, this should be visible. Or, yeah. Edit should be visible. And here should be invisible. Is invisible. This is confusing. And that was it, right? Okay. Okay, let's test that. Okay. Let's see if I totally ruined this. We might need to, yeah. Let's take a look. I might need some fail safes in a few other places. We've got a cursor right now. Let's go play. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, why did I pick a tutorial? That was a dumb move. Ooh. Right. Right. Dot current. Let's try it like this. And then we might want to do let's see if that fixes it. This is an order of operations problem where I have a cursor in the menus, I have a cursor in the game, and my game script now was trying to talk to the cursor, but that cursor was the old one from the menus. This whole thing's a little gross. I probably, whatever. Really, it should only be one of them, but the problem is I have like slightly different UI layouts, and it's better sort of to have two of them, one in each scene. Okay. Now, in theory, we have no cursor right now, but we go like this and we get one. We resume, it's gone. What the heck? What? What? Why is it resetting me to there? It's not throwing exceptions or anything. What? Is that broken all over the place? What? What have I done? Is this something I just broke? Or something I broke earlier today? What? What the heck just happened? Okay, we're gonna look at our changes. Okay, what all have we changed today? We haven't changed very much. We changed manager game only to call game cursor things. We renamed body part thing to bodypart.physicsBody, which affected gymnast.cs. And we moved this array. Gymnast body part we cached the transform. Maybe it's that. Probably that. Right. Okay, this was broken before the cursor stuff. Oh my god. Mouse is like freaking out. Alright, so so in Gymnast we have a thing up here, which is we can come on, why is my mouse being so dumb? Here we have a thing called reset snapshot, where we capture we grab the body part and we ask it about its position and rotation. And we remember its position and rotations. Oh, this is because sync transforms got turned off. Okay. The problem is that right here, I'm storing the position of the rigid body, which has not been synced. Yeah. Okay. So what we could do is, this is a very infrequent action. We can sync the transforms right here. Okay, we found our first side effect of unchecking the sync transforms box. Pretty sure that was the cause of that. I don't know why my mouse is suddenly being so laggy. I wonder if my computer is like on the edge of giving up. Okay, so that so we were testing the cursor. So here we go. Okay, quick question. Can I reset? Yes, I can. Okay. So we have no cursor. Pause, we have a cursor. Retry, no cursor. Pause, we have a cursor. Go to the replay system, we have a cursor. We come back, we have a cursor. We hit resume, no cursor, we think. Okay. Results screen. Got a cursor. Place level again. Okay. Alright, the core flow seems okay. Now what we need to do is test that we're actually not updating the cursor while we're in gameplay. So we can go back here to window. Oh my god, why is my mouse like so crappy? Window. Analysis. Profiler. Okay. Let's turn off maximize on play. Okay. So if we say play this level again, and here we are in the suddenly very slow video game. Okay, and pause. So if we look at it, just any random frame here, are we seeing, what was it? Yeah, game cursor, which was showing up, I think, in update, probably. So in here we have our input manager. We got a bunch of crap over here. Expression player, game UI, manager game. I'm not seeing the cursor. Confetti system, Ferris wheel, sky. Programmatic signal source. Ew, why is that allocating? Okay. Okay, cool. So that's probably an improvement. Now, yeah, now we want to go look at some of this replay stuff. Yeah. So let's go look at a replayable basic kinematic. This has an update, and there's no reason for it to have an update or a start. Look at that. Now Unity doesn't need to call update on those tons of objects that have that. So that's very good. Ding, ding. And then we also wanted to, we're going to make a minor improvement to this. We're going to cache our transform. Like that, I think. Now, Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. And then, so here we would be returning the cached transforms rotation and the cached transforms position. And we would be setting the cached transforms rotation and position. Okay, cool. I think that will work. We're gonna make a couple other changes real quick and then we'll test to make sure replays are still working. So let's go look at the confetti. That was an expensive part of the replay system. Oops. So we have replayable confetti. So this thing, it has a reference to a confetti system. And this seems to be a little pricey. Confetti system, get piece details, because it has to go in and fill out all this junk. We're calling that just to get the part ID, and then we're calling it just to get the rotation, and then we're calling it just to get the position. And then in playback, we're setting this every time. Okay. So let's go look at this. Set piece details. But we have like set piece position, so those are pretty cheap. We're doing a null check, which is a little gross. How does this work? Is it really possible for these things to be null? Let's go look. Okay. Yeah, open slot. How does this work? I haven't looked at this code in quite some time. Okay, what does generate instance do? It makes a new one. Tells it its index. Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. Oh, part list. Okay, part list is just the unique. Right. We're not worried about that. We want this. M particles. So M particles is like. Oh, okay. I think yeah, okay. M particles is going to be created somewhere here. Yeah, so we have a giant M particles, and it is right. But they could be null instances. Right. Okay. Alright, so let's go back to this a little bit. So the thing that seems expensive about this is on the recording side. And the not this script. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. So we want this one. Okay, so get piece details is kind of the expensive part. So what we do here is I mean, right. I guess it's just because we're looking up into this array so much, and we have to do this null check. And we are, yeah, I mean, we're just being safe here is the reason this is slow, I guess. And there's a ton of pieces. For each piece, we're getting one, what are we getting? We're getting its ID, its position, and its rotation. Okay. So when we... like here, can't we reuse these things? Like, where's the update junk? So, yeah, in update, that's where we make the mesh. Here's the actual sim. How do we get rid of particles? So we could change this. So we're simulating. Come along here. Lifetime. Right here. And then, how does this thing work? And then we find one. This is in spawn. Okay, see, I think we could change this so that a confetti part instance. This actually is probably not smart to make it a struct, but we might want to put it on in memory in a better arrangement. But more simply is if we say that mParticles like right here. We do this. Okay, and we just set if part ID is -1, that's an unused particle. So rather than using null, we just do that. Yeah. Okay. And then When you change max piece count, okay. So that's okay, I'm not gonna worry about that too much. Okay, so if we set it like that, okay, and then we search for where we're doing null checks, essentially. Spawn, okay, so if we can create one, we actually do it, and we call generate instance, and we tell it where it goes. Or no, that's the which part it is. And then we slot it into the open slot. Yeah, we almost don't even need to call generate instance then. What we want to do is say instead, we want to do this. Right. This is going to give us back the one we want, and we're going to say do it at open slot. So we can then set this stuff. And we don't need to do this. Okay. Then we walk through looking for the next particle ID that's -1. And this is the wraparound check, so this would be this. Okay. So then what we can do here is we can just say this can be like safe. We just go like, give me the details from this spot, and here they are. And then all we do is we return like that. Okay, we don't do this. We say instead, if this is greater than or equal to 0, then we're allowed to do the rest of the function. And then we look for this case here. Whoops. This is where the part IDs don't match. This is for playback. And so we do this. Say, set this one to be this new thing. Set piece part index. Okay, so we get the thing. Then we just do this. Okay. Like that. And set piece position, we can just do directly. It's always safe to do. Set piece rotation, we can do directly. It's safe to do. Clear all doesn't do that. It sets the particle ID -1. Okay. So then here, if c dot part ID equals -1, we continue. Okay. Hopefully this is gonna work. And here, kill the particle is dot part ID equals -1. So then when we're making the mesh, we have to say if c dot part ID equals -1, we don't append that guy. Okay. Okay. Blah blah blah. blah blah blah. This, now this one's gonna say int idx. Then we don't actually do this. We say the instance is just equal to mParticles idx. And then we overwrite the instance ID, and now here we're gonna need to do clear the points, because we expected new ones here. And we need to clear the triangles. What else have we got on instance that we should be careful of? Some of these other things that we expected to get reset need to get reset. Let's go up here and see what we do in the constructor. Not a part. It's not those. It's the instance. Here we go. So we need life elapsed to be 0. We need velocity and omega to be. Okay. So here we would be like. Okay. We cleared the points, which we were messing with here. We cleared the triangles, which we were messing with here. A lot of this other stuff is getting reset. Okay. Okay. Does this compile? Almost. Almost. This is in what is this? Preview meshes. Ooh! Right. This is going to be a little gross, but we'll do it this way. Shoot. Let's see. Bool force new, which is false. Okay, so then this can start as null. And then we say if force new instance equals new instance, else instance equals the default one. So here we would pass in -1, and then we would pass true. Ew. Kind of gross. Okay. And the rest of this is pretty much the same. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see just how much this is broken. So let's just go directly into the game scene. Okay. All right, now what we're looking for is that we didn't break the confetti. So let's just load up a level. Oh, I think I have weird settings set right now because we were playing around with saving the settings. That looks like it hurts the wrists. Boom. Okay, it's at least drawing and animating properly. Replay is broken. Looks like. Oh, and we were trying to record it. It broke. So what happened here? Transform is not set. Right. It's because this is probably on a disabled game object. So what we need to do is we need to say here, if like that, and we should also do that in did start, playback did start. Okay, so we were throwing some exceptions there for sure, which is probably the main problem we were having. But this one also, confetti system late update, says that the vert array is not the same size as the colors array. Okay, so that's probably because in create instance, we're going to generate instance down here. We cleared the points, but not the colors. What the? Right, points, colors, tries. Okay. Okay, all right. Okay. I don't know how much this will actually be an actual performance optimization, but we'll see. Oh wait, let's go here to here. Normal, normal, off. Okay. Okay, confetti is animating, working in the UI. What about in the replay? Nope, something's still funky. We've got argument out of range exception. Right here. Set piece. Let's look at this. Right, so when we're playing back junk, is index somehow? Pretty sure that's coming from here, where we say in playback mode, set int, set the piece's part index. So if part index is -1, that's the thing we gotta care about. Yeah, so we need to go in here. If particle index is -1, then this is a much shorter function, because all we want to do is just do that. Where do we even get the, oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, so wait a minute. Let's go back one. Set. What was it? This function. Here, and then what we need to do is we need to say if part ID is less than 0, then we just say particles idx dot part ID equals part ID. Otherwise, we like set it up proper. Okay, that makes sense. That's the replay trying to say a particle has died, and so the part ID went pop to -1. That makes sense. All right. Go like this: window analysis profiler. Turn that off. Okay. Okay. Load a level. Okay, confetti is animating. Confetti is replaying. Okay. Let's go actually look at the replay. Let's go to the manual camera. Let's observe this. Okay. Seems to be working. Cool. Okay, so I didn't break it. Now what we should do is we should have a look and see if the cost of any of this has gone down at all. So we turn off maximize on play, window analysis, profiler, record and play mode. Let's go. Okay, level data, load a level. This level has lots of pieces in it. Okay. All right. Pause. Now let's go look at these. So we have tons of editor overhead, but whatever. How's the rest of this looking? Okay. So where's one where we actually captured a frame? There we go. That's come down a bit. So that's good. Also an update. Yeah, update. We don't have all those tons of scripts that we're just doing those like empty update functions, so that's good. Why are we generating garbage here? Signal source visual dot update. Signal source visual dot update is generating garbage. It's allocating memory, I should say. So is game UI. I bet that's the score. Okay. So we should fix that. What's this? Dynamic hair chain. That's okay. That should be a little costly. That's physics calculations. Okay. Input manager is still a little pricey on the old update here, doesn't it seem? Look at that. Like most of my scripts update function is being consumed by input manager update. So we should maybe look and see if there's some cost going on there we could look into. Okay, we're doing pretty good though. Auto grabber is allocating. Isn't good. Otherwise though, it's starting to look pretty nice. This visual rope, or no, rope is allocating. Okay. Alright, what was I looking at a second ago? Oh, yeah. Alright, so let's do something real quick. Let's go deep profile, which will take a second to enable. That's pretty good though. We did a pretty solid round of optimizations here. Okay, this is going to dramatically slow down the game. But we don't really care because all we need is to capture a few frames here. Okay. Pause. Pause. Go here. Okay, look at that deep stack trace. So, update. Do we see anything that's super obviously expensive in here? Not really. Yeah, some of this will get cheaper when I make a build instead of running in the editor. Okay, I don't see anything super obviously dumb. We have keyboard update, controller update, that makes sense. Mouse update. Yeah. Okay. Nothing too crazy here. I probably have some maps I could disable, but nothing major. Alright. So I'm not gonna dive down that rabbit hole too much deeper. It's probably about the same cost right here too. Yeah. And I am reading input and fixed update, so there's a checkbox I could uncheck and I could get rid of this per fixed update, which would be nice, right? It's a big chunk of milliseconds, but it'll probably screw up a fair amount of code. Well, actually, let's see, where, I mean, really, where am I doing get button? Oh, Matsume, how's it going? Thanks for dropping by. I am doing a pass on performance optimization today, not necessarily because I had a performance problem, but because I'm about to release the game and I've never really actually looked at the profiler on the game to see, you know, if there were some obvious mistakes I was making with regards to performance. So I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours, mostly just doing that. Pretty far along now. And right now I'm looking at right now, I guess I should say it's looking pretty good, which is good. If I look at the profiler here, so basically, like, if you look at sort of any given frame, a lot of these blank spaces are, you don't have to worry about because that's just the Unity editor doing dumb junk. This chunk right here is essentially rendering, and then this is, you know, simulating the game. And these frame times are way off because I had the like expensive test mode turned on. Anyway, you can see that I actually do 3 fixed updates per frame. And that's fine. How does your machine handle profiling while streaming? It's been chugging a little bit. Actually, I haven't looked at this to see. Yeah, we dropped a lot of frames in the stream. Yeah, so I'm doing 3 fixed updates per frame, which is because I have my physics time step set very short because this game is a physics game and it needs accurate physics calculations. But one of the things is I have an input system I'm using for the game. And the input manager here has this thing where you can set when are you going to ask for input? In update, which is just once a frame, right? Or in fixed update, which is every time the physics step happens. I have both checked, which means right now I'm paying the cost of this input system 4 times every frame. Once in each fixed update and then once in update. And so if I could uncheck fixed update, that would cut that to 1/4. What it would mean is that anywhere I'm doing input calculations inside fixed update, I have to be careful, because if I call the function on this input system that says, hey, was a button pressed this frame? That flag for was it pressed this frame is not guaranteed to be accurate if you're in the fixed update loop, but input is only being updated in update. But it's probably worth doing because this is pretty unnecessary to be, to be grabbing the input 4 times a frame. So what I wanted to quickly take a look at is where am I actually... Okay, so see, like in the editor of the game, I do a lot of input checks, but that's safe. This is all happening in update, so that one's safe. Game countdown sequence, this is happening in update, so that's fine. Level complete, this is going to be happening in update, so that's going to be fine. Here's the main one, right? Gymnast controller. This is currently in fixed update. I don't think there's any reason I couldn't actually move this whole script just to update. This script's job is to basically set the target angles for all the joints on the Gymnast. That's basically all it does. We do have an update script down here. And in update, we're doing things like, oh, look at that. In update, we're doing things like, yeah, okay, so this is the main one. This is one we're going to come back and look at. Replay, this is an update, that's safe. This is an update, that's safe. This is an update, this is an update. This is an update. This doesn't matter anymore because I don't think I'm doing, or I'm doing it a little bit. It's an update though. This is going to be an update. Good news, this game is not that complicated. It's a lot of menus, but the actual gameplay is like one script really that's like the beefy script. So, this is an update. Okay, cool. Now we're down into like demo scripts from Rewired and junk. Okay, alright. So really it's just this one. So let me think about what would break if I move this into update. Or what would break if I just left it like this but unchecked that checkbox. So Let's test it. I don't think this is going to do much because, you know, we call some functions, but I don't think they're going to explode. So, hey, we should look at this one. This is just target angle, that's fine. Target angle, that's fine. Target angle. Target angle. Target angle. And then we do have the release button, but that should be okay. Some of this is calling into Gymnast, right? So we have to look into those essentially. And release. And we're actually tracking ourselves if this button is held or released. So that's very good. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I think we're going to try unchecking the checkbox. Think. And let me think. Is there any else? Any other performance-related things I should look at while I'm here? Right. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's see what broke. Something must have. Right? Something must have broke. The thing I'm a little worried about is... Oh, wait a minute. Window. Analysis. Profiler. Turn off, please. Okay, there we go. Is it... I wonder if this would make the input like 1 frame delayed or something. So the menus are working, that's good. Okay, control and Gymnast works. Picked a great level to demonstrate that. Okay, I can let go. I can catch on to things. I can land on the edge of the mat. Oh, that looks bad. Okay, replays are still working. Let's try a different level here. Let's see, what would be... something with a little bit more like tight input constraints. Let go, grab. Does have various rankings on how effectively you land on the mat? Well, sort of. What it does have is... does this one have a mat at the end? No. If... Basically, what it has is did you stick the landing or not? And it has a variety of calculations it does based on what your angle and everything when you hit the mat to decide if you landed the trick or not, which is fairly faked in terms of the physics. Like basically when you hit, it looks at angles and stuff, then it turns on a temporary spring that tries to like hold your feet on the mat and hold your hips to where they should be if you were standing up straight and down, and then it watches that spring for a little while, and if you kind of like push the spring too far, it decides to let go and says nope, you didn't land it. But if if that spring can catch you and it says, oh, you landed the trick, and then it whatever that trick was that you were doing gets scored and gets a huge bonus because you stuck the landing, which is like kind of a, you know, a gymnastics-y thing. Or it gives up and says you didn't land it, and then that trick, that pending flip you were doing or whatever, doesn't count. Whereas like from bar to bar here, it's like I have a trick going with, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 points. When I catch, that gets added to the score. So like if you land on the edge like you did, yeah, now currently it doesn't care. To pass the level, all you gotta do is touch the mat at all. At all. and then the landing is looking at angle, and right now it's like if you just clip it, like probably maybe to get at what you're asking and me going, oh, that didn't look very good, is that I should probably check if you're trying to land on the very edge of the mat and consider that not a candidate for trying to do the landing system. Would probably be the solution. So let me see if I can land it. Nope. Yeah, essentially I would need an additional check. Because right now all I do is just say, was there collision between the foot and a mat? And then there's a million checks after that of like, are you kind of standing up or not? Is the mat like laying flat? Like it won't let you try to land on the mat that's at an angle, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this doesn't look like I broke anything though. Let's go look at the profiler now. Oh, wait a minute. Let me turn off play mode. I'm gonna disengage deep profile because that slows everything down majorly. Which for some reason I think that has to like do some script compilation in order to turn that off, so it takes a little while to do it. Alright, now we're gonna turn off maximize on play. Yeah, I do like that idea though, Matzi. I'm gonna write that down. Edge of mat check on landings. No, that would be a nice little polished thing to get in there. Okay, boom, 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 load a level. Let's load up this level. This level has a lot of pieces. Okay, start recording, kill the stream, go back to here, go. Okay, now what we really care about is capturing a few frames here to see stuff. That should be enough. Undo record. Undo play mode. Alright, so now if we look at fixed update, there's no input script happening. There's just going to be yeah, there is still a tiny bit happening, but nothing like before. And there was our recording, so that's looking pretty cheap now. Okay. Yep. Auto grabber I need to look at still. It's allocating memory. Shouldn't be. Because we're still allocating way too much memory per frame. But that may have to be done in the second pass. All these little like reddish pink ones are generally allocations that are occurring. And you really shouldn't be allocating memory during each frame. Because what happens is, you see it here, the total GC allocated is just growing and growing and growing and growing, and that means eventually it's going to have to do a garbage collection. And we're allocating like 24 kilobytes per frame right now, which is definitely too much. But whatever, we're not worried about that part yet. We're looking at how we definitely reduce the impact of input. Now the input is going to be all right here. Yeah, 0.28, where in each thing here, it's 0.00 or 0.053. So that's good, that's cheaper. Alright, this is starting to look pretty clean now. Not a lot of obviously dumb junk going on. Yeah. Cool. Rendering. Anything obvious here? Okay, so our water system is somewhat expensive. And then depth texture, well, not the rest of this is not that expensive. What is this? What's this stuff? Layout group. Ooh, really? On rect transform dimensions change. I could look into this. It looks like I'm spending a little bit of time here. Maybe there's something a little bit inefficient about my game UI. Probably worth looking at. It's a fair amount of calls. Yeah. Interesting. Might be because of the way I've structured. Yeah, probably is. If you look at the way I've structured this thing, the game scene here, I have a main canvas, one canvas, and then I have like a million sub pieces to it, one of which is the game UI, but it's kind of nested in this complex hierarchy. That might be a good idea. Oh, no problem, Masi. It's okay. I'm not necessarily talking to you. I'm just talking, you know, talking it through as I go. So don't worry. Enjoy your devlog progress. So maybe it would be a good idea to put the game UI on its own canvas, because then it wouldn't be in there with all these other UI scripts and whatnot. That might be part of the problem. Also, it just might be yeah, interesting. This is in rendering, which is interesting, because this is basically rendering the UI camera, I think. Graphic. Yeah, layout group on rec transform dimensions changed. Interesting. That's interesting. I should look for where that's coming from, because it's happening a lot. It makes me wonder if something on the root canvas is actually like, yeah, see how the scale canvas like is changing all the time? Now that's in theory because I'm in the editor. But yeah, if this canvas changes, then it's gonna send an update to this entire hierarchy of business down here. Now I could put a canvas on the game UI itself, but I don't know how much that's gonna. It's like a sub canvas, right? I don't know how much that's gonna change things. Yeah. Could put a test on here and say game UI. What if I add this function on here, like right here? Canvas changed, I think. Debug.log. Let's see if this does anything. May even be happening in edit mode. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Every frame. What? Oh, it's because... Wait a minute. What if I don't select this? Nope, still happening. Okay, so is that something I'm doing? Let's look at this. If we undo collapse, every frame, this is getting a on-rec transform dimensions change. We do not want that during the game. Why would the heck should that be happening? I wonder if I need to disable the canvas scaler. It seems gross. Wow. Okay, here's somebody asking a question and getting no response, so that's classic stuff right there. Let's see what they're saying in this little article about this. Yeah. Great, you got ads and you got cookies. Thanks. Let's see. Materials, camera. Yeah. UI. Yeah, okay, you should be dividing things into canvases, right. Okay. Pixel perfect is turned off. That's not it. Yeah. Why? God. Okay. Okay. I feel like canvas scaler is the culprit. I wonder if there's a way to test this. Oh, okay. according to this, it's probably because this thing is updating in the editor. Okay, but what I probably should do is sub-canvasify some of these things. So the score, this thing, this thing. Yeah, these get updated fairly frequently. Sub-canvasify, yeah. Hopefully this is gonna help a little bit, but also, yeah. Okay, so I should make a build and profile a build then. Would probably be a good next step. But I'm gonna have to wrap up the stream for today. Time to eat some lunch. Okay, I got a good note here, and I have a few other performance things I can check. But I'll probably do this one more time before I ship the first version of the game. Because, I mean, I know the game is stable. I've had players for a while now. And, you know, we know it works on... You know, I haven't had major bugs reported from the people that have been playing, of which there's, you know, enough to be confident. I guess with all these changes I'm making lately, I better make a build and put it up in the next week or so that before release I've got some feedback from players I didn't break anything too substantially. But I do want to be careful not to over focus on making a bunch of changes that might make it slightly more performant, but I also might introduce a bunch of bugs at the last minute. Alright, so I will be back streaming on Monday. In between now and then I'll probably do some work on the game, so I'll try and catch up what I did in between. But streaming wise I'll be back on Monday. And we're in the home stretch here. I gotta do a lot of level work. And then hit some of these remaining to-dos, which are all pretty minor. So that's good. Let's see, we'll probably say we want to do one more. No, we're good with this. This we want to do one more time. Along with the build size pass. Make sure the build size is optimized, not too crazy. And I still want to do this. Okay, alright, well, you know. Yeah, I've been using Trello as my to-do here. Look at this, look how much stuff I've done. I like leaving it here just so I can remember that I've actually accomplished some things. Alright. I will be back on Monday. Everyone have a good weekend. And take it easy.